In the previous lessons, we had looked at ID and used that within our styles, and we were able to call to the IDs by this hash symbol and then the name of the ID that we're using within the HTML code. So another way to use style sheets is to include classes. And classes are reused over and over again. So if we had a class and if we want to call it maybe red text, we could add that in on any one of these elements, and if we want to specify maybe this HTML and we want to make that red, we can place that within a span, use that same red text class, and then close up that span, just format it so it looks a little bit better. And as you can see, with classes we can reuse them over and over again. And the way that we call classes in styling is we do a period and then we type the class name. And so Dreamweaver is suggesting the one, so the red text, which is the only one that I have, and in fact I am going to make that text red, so I'm just going to do color red, and like that. And that's how we can apply classes. And classes, again, they can be reused over and over again, as opposed to IDs, which are only used one time within that HTML page. So you don't want to be reusing these IDs, but you do want to stick to classes when you want to reuse a particular styling value. And now I can apply this class over and over again. So if I want my home page to be red, I can apply that there. And because this is a hyperlink, we're not going to get it turning red. And within hyperlinks, we have to apply it within that link in order to turn it red. Or if we want it to do it another way, so just to show you quickly, to add in classes, and that we can do that within the styling to control that the hyperlink text is going to be red. So by default, when we do something like color red, that applies to the text and whatever text is within that element that has that class applied to it. But if we notice that these hyperlinks are still staying blue, and that's the reason is because hyperlinks need additional values in order to be able to select that particular part of the link. So if I was to type in something that wasn't part of the hyperlink, so just going back to the code, and maybe it's a little bit easier just to type it in like that, you can see that in fact it is red. So in order to actually access the hyperlink, we have to add some additional information within that code. In order to turn only the hyperlink red, we can do something like this, where we do a, and then we do this colon link, and that's going to turn that red. And as you can see now, red text is no longer attached because it's only applying to classes that are the parent class, which is this one here, of a hyperlink that contains any textual content. And similarly, we could remove out that parent class selector, and we can turn all of our hyperlinks red. And in addition to just the link changing, we can change the hover color. So if we want to change the hover color, maybe we can do a background there. So whenever anyone hovers over this particular element, maybe we want to change the background to blue. And I'll just show you how that looks within the browser. When we go here, we see that that's taken effect, and whenever we hover over it, they do turn blue. And if you're looking at this, you might be able to see that this one, in fact, it isn't red because this is a visited link. So it's different from a regular hyperlink. And if we want to count the visited links to be the same color, we could just call to them in this type of format. So we could do visited. So that would turn those visited ones red as well. Or we could separate that out and just copy that over and do it in that format as well. So either way, this is going to mean the same thing, whether we comma separate it or if we separate it out into separate stylings. We're doing the same thing, where we're selecting that hyperlink text, and if it's visited, it's going to be red, as well as all hyperlink text is going to be red.